Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 books that I've read so far this year in 2015. These aren't books that were published in 2015, these are purely books that I've read in 2015. Quite a range in there, so I'm going to get started because it's halfway through the year and that means from now on I'm just on the downward slope till Christmas. So top 5 books of 2015 so far. The first book that I'm going to talk about is The Book of You by Kendal. I don't have this with me because I got it out from the library, so this is what the front cover looks like. This is a gripping, thrilling, couldn't put it down, couldn't go to sleep until I knew what was going to happen to this poor woman tale of a woman who is being stalked by somebody that she knows through work. He's really clever with it. He gets her friends on his side and it's just... The things he puts her through are just awful, and she's writing it all down in a book which she calls The Book of You. So it's really cleverly told. You hear it all from her perspective and it's just brilliant. I stayed up till early hours of the morning because I just couldn't go to sleep not knowing what happened to this woman. I've got a friend who read it and she said exactly the same. So if you're into thrillers, if you're into crime and just something that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat, then this is definitely the book for you. So that's called The Book of You by Kendal, and that's my number 5 top book of 2015 so far. Number 4 is a book called The Rain by Bergin. So this is the cover. I again don't have this. I read it on my Kindle, so I absolutely flew through this. I read fast on a Kindle, really fast. So this is a tale about a teenage girl going through the usual trials and tribulations of being a teenager. She wants to wear this top out at the weekend. She can't afford it. She's got spots. Her hair's ruined because she keeps dyeing it. She fancies this boy. Her mum and dad are so out of order, etc., etc. But then the main story that happens is that rain is fatally poisonous. So if you get touched by rain, if you get rained on, you die. If you drink water, you die. If you touch something that's touched rain, you die. And it's just about how her life changes really, really quickly from being this carefree teenager to having to deal with all these awful things that are happening and people are dying close to her, etc. And when I was reading it, I was enjoying it and I was thinking, Christ, imagine if this happened. Like, I better get a contingency plan in place. But once I finished reading it, I couldn't stop thinking about it for like a week afterwards. And that to me just shows how good a book and how much I enjoyed it, because it just stayed with me. It really did. So I think that's why it's made it to my top 5 list. My next book, number 3 on my top 5 books of 2015, is an example that a book doesn't necessarily have to be the most clever book in the world, the most original idea, the most popular book in the world, because it is The Food of Love Cookery School by Nicky Pellegrino, and this is what the front cover looks like. So this book came to me when I was about to go on a food cookery course. My boyfriend bought me a food cookery course for my birthday to go and learn how to make tapas. And I saw this at the library, that it was about a cookery course, and I thought, I'm going to get that out. And it just slot into my life so perfectly at that time. So it's about 4 women who come together at the cookery course, and they've all got little backstories, and it's very like Maeve Binchy-esque. Maeve Binchy is a massive guilty pleasure of mine. I absolutely love her. I think her characters are so well written, and you feel like you know them by the end, and when you stop reading, you feel like you've finished your friendship with these people because you just don't have them in your life anymore. So I found that very, like, the backstories of these women, they were very detailed, and you got to know all of them, and it was filled with food and cookery and knife skills and things that you don't normally get in a fiction book. And I love fiction that has to do with cookery and food because they're my biggest loves aside from reading. So I absolutely adored this book and I really, really loved it, and it was just so easy. It was like chewing gum for the brain, so that's why it's made it to my top 5 list. So the next book is a book that I've recently read. It is Kate Atkinson, Life After Life. I won't go into too much detail here because I have done a book review on that and I'll link that below. So this is the story of Ursula, who lives her life having second chances. So basically, if she dies, you then read on to find out what would happen if she didn't die, or the smallest change in her life can make it so that she doesn't die. And it sounds really convoluted and confusing, but it wasn't. It was brilliant. It was an absolute pleasure to read and I adored it, and I've lent it out to my friend and I'm trying to make everybody read it. So there's a link to the actual review down below, so if you want to find out more about that, go on the link there. So my top number one book of 2015 that I've read so far is Wonder by R J Palacio. So this book came to me, a friend recommended it to me, and when I started my online book club with my friends, I thought we need an easy read, something that's going to get everyone's going to be able to read it in a month, and I knew that this was quite easy going, and it was beautiful. I absolutely love this book. So it's a tale of a young chap called August who has a severe facial deformity, and he is going to school for the first time. He's always been homeschooled, and his parents decide that it's time for him to go to school. So it's told brilliantly. It's told from lots of different perspectives. The first chapter is told by August, and it revisits August later on. So, but it's also got chapters in there by other people in his year, his sister, his sister's boyfriend. So it's how all these people deal with August and this severe facial deformity he's got coming into school, and it is just gorgeous. There's some really moments in there where I was crying. The ending, I was crying my eyes out. My boyfriend was crying his eyes out, and it is just lovely. It is really, really beautiful, and I loved it, and I will definitely be rereading this. This is the sort of book that I could read every year without fail, and it's just so heartwarming and just a real feel-good book. It's really easy to get through. I mean, the chapters are so short, and you just want to read on the whole time. So it was just lovely, and I adored it, and I would just urge anyone that hasn't read this to read it, because you will love it. So that's my top 5 books of 2015. I hope you enjoyed it. If anyone's read any of these books and love them, hate them, let me know. I would love to hear from you. If anyone's got a different top 5 books of 2015 that they've read so far, which I'm sure you will have, please just comment below, because I love to hear what people are reading, and if people love a book, then I would love to love that book with you. So that's it from me this week. Thanks then. Cheers, bye.